Hi, good morning. We're here with Tracey Ratcliffe from Grantley Hall. How are you doing, Tracey?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. So if you could start things off, as we normally do, by giving us a bit of an introduction as to who you are and what it is that you do, please.
Okay. Well, I've been at Grantley Hall for just over 6 years now. So I'm actually one of the longest sort of employees with the business. I initially joined as part of the pre-opening team back in February 2018. It was as Director of Sales and Marketing. And at that point, there was only a team of 6 of us working out of a temporary office in Thirsk. Obviously, the hotel then opened in the summer of 2019, and I was promoted to my position of commercial director about 3 years ago now, which still oversees all of the sales and marketing function, but I work very closely with the family in terms of the strategy, and I've just got involved with a few sort of wider commercial aspects. I've actually been in hotels for nearly 25 years. Which is giving you an indication of how old I am. And I've worked for, sadly,
Wise you are.
I've been really fortunate. I've worked for international brands such as Hilton, Intercontinental, Radisson, as well as independents and smaller groups such as Bobby Castle, which again I opened for the late Peter de Savary down in Devon. So I guess I have I'm definitely a hotelier. That's how I would describe myself. But I'm fortunate in that been involved in sales, marketing, revenue, distribution, PR. I've done quite a few new openings in my career, which I guess is one of the reasons I got the job at Grantley Hall, because it's definitely tough opening a new hotel. So yeah, I've been around a while, to be fair.
So in terms of all that experience, what would you say that makes Grantley Hall different, stand out? I mean, apart from the kind of obvious things of the high
How
level of
beautiful it is.
how beautiful it is. Yeah, exactly. And all those kind of standout things to the eye. But from your
Yeah.
perspective, what would you say is it that makes it
Okay.
different based on your
So,
experience?
working at Grantley is really the pinnacle of my career, I think, and luxury sales and selling a luxury product is a very different process
Mm.
than, working for a big brand such as Hilton, where, when you're dealing with big corporate contracts, perhaps, a pound on a corporate contract really makes a difference. I mean, I really think we have created something exceptional here at Grantley Hall. We're very fortunate in that the physical product, that was there. It just needed to be redeveloped, which our owner, Mrs. Sykes, did throughout the 4-year renovation project. We're set in 37 acres of beautifully landscaped gardens. We've got the beautiful Yorkshire countryside around us, so the setting is amazing. The Georgian Mansion House, when you drive up that driveway, wow, what a sense of arrival you get. We're not a traditional country house hotel. So on the face of it, we have the grounds, we have the heritage building. Yes, we have all of the restaurants and bars, but we are quite a unique mix of that 17th century grandeur, mixed with contemporary style and sophistication. And there's some really quite unexpected areas, such as our Pan-Asian, our subterranean champagne bar. And those elements really set us apart from other country house hotels. Our diverse range of dining, for example, is unparalleled. You will not find another bedroom, another hotel with 47 bedrooms that has such a diverse range of dining options. And that was one thing the owners wanted to really offer our guests when creating Grantley Hall. They wanted to give them choice as to where to dine during their stay here. I think the other area that really sets us apart is our extensive spa and wellness. A lot of properties will have beautiful spas, but sitting alongside our wellness facilities, which it cover 2 floors within the building, and some of the very modern and pioneering wellness treatments that we offer, such as cryotherapy and underwater treadmill, that is really unusual, for a hotel of our nature. And I guess all of that added together, along with customer service. Our key focus, the physical product exists. We've created that. It's phenomenal. The attention to detail is phenomenal. But it's also about the customer service that we deliver, because it's our team that make the difference. It's that warm Yorkshire welcome. It's the way we want to anticipate guest needs, exceed guest expectations. So that is a massive focus for the entire team, the general manager, our operations team, and it's really paying dividends, because the feedback, the amount of repeat customers, the bookings we're getting through word of mouth, the awards we won 19 awards last year.
Wow,
so we must be doing something right.
Yeah. And where do these people come from that want to stay with you? Where's the kind of majority of the target market coming from at the moment?
So still predominantly the majority of our market is domestic, probably around 90% are domestic clients. And actually a huge amount of those clients come from within a 2-hour radius. Which I guess is to be expected, because we are only 5 years old, so we're still a relatively young business. And we can definitely see that we are reaching further afield. So 10% of our business over the summer is now international, primarily North America, with Australia coming in a close second, which is interesting. But we can see we've reached Cheshire, we've reached the Northeast, we've more and more clients coming from London and the home counties, from Scotland. So I think that's just the nature of our age. We'll probably talk about the pandemic, because clearly that's been a massive, part of our operations since we opened. It hit us 6 months after opening, and I think partly because of that, that's why our business has been really quite local. But that 2-hour radius is expanding constantly. So, and we monitor it to see where our guests are coming from.
So you mentioned the pandemic there.
Yes, I did.
Starting a refurb in 2019, or opening the doors.
Yeah.
In terms of your business journey and describing what that has looked like since you've been at Grantley Hall, if there's one word and then an expansion on it, what would that one word be?
Well, COVID.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's
Although
go
I feel, I think we've all blocked it from our minds to a certain
it's
extent.
kind of like we've all moved on.
Yeah. I mean, as I mentioned previously, I have probably done around 6 or 7 hotel openings in my career. So I know they are very challenging, no matter how organised and prepared you think you are. Things never quite go according to plan, or you might have a bit of snagging. Or it's like living in a new house. You think you know how your guests might use the space, but then they end up using the space in a slightly different way, or different aspects of your product offering are slightly more popular than others, which is not quite what you anticipated. So you're learning very much as you go. Obviously, we had only been trading for 6 months when COVID came along, and the first of the 3 lockdowns. I mean, none of us had experienced anything like that before. And being an independent property, we didn't have a head office to be telling us what to do. We were very much sitting as a management team and going, right, how do we interpret these government, directives? How does this work? What does this mean for our business? How are we going to cope? Thank goodness for furlough, I have to say. Otherwise there would have been some very different consequences for the majority of our team. So, I mean, I joke now that I've opened the same hotel 4 times, and I'd really like to not have to do it again. And I guess every time it got a bit easier because we knew what to do. But it was crazy times. Every time the end of a lockdown was announced, and we know, because we all went through it ourselves, the domestic staycation demand was phenomenal. I mean, in my nearly 25 years of working in the hospitality sector, I have never experienced anything like it. Our call volumes increased by 1,000%. Every morning we would come into hundreds and hundreds of emails in the inbox, and of course we only had the same size team, to deal with that volume as we had pre-opening. So we were, you know, we were really stretched, working 7 days a week, you know, working exceptionally long hours, dealing with also guests' frustrations, fears. Everyone had their own fears. How close am I going to be? You know, how will your staff enter my room to clean it? You know, there was all these, you know, other peripheral things that we had to take into account. Also dividing our own team into sort of different, you know, we sort of divided them into, I won't call them silos, but we were trying to minimize any potential cross-contamination. Remember the pingdemic?
Yeah.
You know, we were really conscious that having quite a young team, particularly in the food and beverage outlets, you know, if a few people got pinged and got told they couldn't come to work, what was the impact for the wider team? You know, so we really then were trying to operate at different parts of the business. You know, the staff canteen was shut, it was all packed lunches. There was a whole variety of things that went into it. But for us, there was also a silver lining. That first lockdown allowed us to, you know, complete some snagging issues that we had in the newer parts of the building. It allowed us to take a full suite of photography without disturbing any guests who were in the hotel.
Sure.
Allowed us to take a 360-degree virtual tour video. I actually got the Christmas brochure finished in May as opposed to December, as it had been done the year before. So actually, for a new property, it did give us a bit of breathing time to to really get caught up, so that when we reopened after that first lockdown, we were firing on all cylinders. And for 2 years after that, we experienced phenomenal trading levels. We were full. You know, both across the bedrooms, the spa, all of our restaurants. It was, you know, it was unprecedented times. You know, and we survived, we've thrived, may have a few more grey hairs than I had before. But, you know, we've all been through it. And, you know, I think as a business and as a team, we came out stronger.
Better off for it. So what does the future look like then, as far as you can see, and any challenges that
So, well, there's always challenges. So,
yeah.
you know, not only did we have COVID, then we had Brexit, which did impact some of our staffing levels, to be fair. You know, a lot of our European staff, you know, went home during lockdown, decided not to come back. A lot of people left the hospitality industry because of the pandemic. And, you know, it took us quite a while to build those levels back up and persuade people that hospitality is, you know, it's a great environment to work in, because obviously a couple of years ago, it was the first segment to close down and the last one to open up. So, you know, we had that. Then we had the war in Ukraine, which, oh my goodness, we all saw the impact on utility bills. And when you have a business as big as this, that had a massive impact, you know, straight off the bottom line of our profitability. And then I don't think we can pretend that the cost of living crisis, you know, hasn't impacted us, while our clientele are probably a bit more immune, you know, and protected, you know, from some of the cost of living crisis than, you know, perhaps some other properties. You know, it did also impact our staff thinking about filling up their cars to come to work, and you know, and we think it perhaps some of our local non-resident dining market, you know, made some different choices. So every year there's been something that we think, okay, is this a factor? How do we change? As I've mentioned, we are celebrating our 5th birthday this year, so we are becoming a more mature business. I guess we're no longer the new kid on the block, and some other fantastic properties have opened across the UK in the last couple of years. So we're always looking at new ways to stay vibrant, enhance our product offering. I've already mentioned, you know, our focus on guest experience and guest service. So international clients, this is our 2nd year of targeting international clients, which firstly I need to explain to them where North Yorkshire is and how you get here from London, and then once you've got off the train in New York, how do you get to Grantley Hall? You know, North Yorkshire was mentioned by Condé Nast Traveller as one of the top 10 destinations to visit in 2024. So, you know, the region is being recognised as a fantastic place to visit, a fantastic place to stay. So, you know, we want to maximise on all of this. I think the other key strategy that we're working very hard on is growing our events business. We've been focusing on that for the last 2 years. We've got a lot of grounds. We do have a dedicated function space. We can put marquees and big structures up in the grounds. So we grew our events business by 26% year on year last year. And we are expecting to see similar growth this year. We're pushing the boundaries in terms of the scale and the size and the complexity of what we're doing. So for example, we are hosting a car event. Well, it's our car event, Supercar Sunday, last weekend in June. We held the first event last year. We are doubling the size of that this year. We're bringing a pop group in to make it a real festival vibe. That is going to be phenomenal. I just need it to stay dry. So if we can all pray to the weather gods, that would be really helpful. And then later in the year, in September, we are putting a beautiful big glass orangery up on the West Lawn. We're doing a charity event for the Yorkshire Children's Charity, which we did back in 2022. So we're doing another one for 400 people. The first event raised I think it was £840,000 for charity. Phenomenal. So the target this year is £1 million. So no pressure there then, and we really are working in collaboration with the charity to make that a success. And then we're keeping the structure up for a week. And at the end of the week, we are doing a huge Asian wedding, which we've never done before, because normally we're just perhaps a little bit small for the numbers that an Asian wedding's looking for. But because we've got the orangery up, they're taking advantage of that. I know, and speaking to the client at the weekend, his vision, it's wow, you know, his enthusiasm and creativity knows no bounds. So we're
how many people are you expecting?
Well, that is 400. That's the limit of what we can do in that structure. But it's about the theatre to go around it. He really wants it to be a spectacle and a show that his guests will remember forever. So yes, our creative juices are flowing on that one.
Brilliant. So out of all of this, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far, Tracey? In business.
Always learning something new. So and we have to be flexible and nimble, I think, in the business world now. Some of our tried and tested formula don't always work. So, so I feel like every week I'm learning something new, whether that's trying to keep abreast of the latest technology trends. How is artificial intelligence impacting our industry? Obviously, the growth of digital and social marketing, is phenomenal. Are we going to get TikTok or not? I don't even know how TikTok works. And luckily, I have a team who know these things.
Outsource that one.
I know, exactly. It's the importance of sustainability, which is a real focus for us this year. So I've got some massive documents I need to be working on. The list is never ending, really, and it's keeping all these plates spinning. So, but I think the key thing, which is not so much learning, but it's recognizing, I just think we all need to be so resilient now. For me, that is the key word, and it's the key word for my team. We can't win everything. We don't always get everything right. We're going to try new things. Some of them might not work, but actually don't let any of these setbacks impact your confidence, impact your belief. You get up, you dust yourself down, and you keep going.
You go again. Excellent. So if someone was coming into the industry, say you're just starting out, aged 18, what would your piece of advice be to perhaps work up to where you are?
Oh, how do you work up to where I am? I think do more than is expected of you, really prove, don't just be that 9 to 5, and I am not saying that I expect my team or anybody, to be, not having a work-life balance, because I think it's important for our mental health, for your energy levels. We all need downtime and to give your brain a rest. But it's really prove that you're hungry for it. Go that extra mile. Certainly, having started life as a salesperson, as a sales manager, then a director of sales, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I mean, I do work for, you know, a very beautiful luxury multi-million-pound product. So I do feel I need to look the part. If I meet someone off-site, I need to represent what the brand it is, you know. But and I take that through not just in appearance, but how I behave. How do I manage my social media channels? What's my personal brand? How do I communicate? How do I behave? So, you know, I really think it's think about every element of your personal brand, you know, and where you want to go. And you know, think about the impact you're having on other people. I think once you start progressing through the management ranks, look after your people. They are your biggest asset, you know. And while managing a team can be, it can be the most frustrating thing, you know, when they're not doing what you want, and you know, it's been challenging. But when you see people thrive, you know, and do well and progress, even if that means sometimes they have to leave your company to take that next step and go somewhere, that is so motivating to think you've helped someone and inspired someone on their journey. So I think, yeah, you know, none of us, well, it depends what your business is, but certainly in hospitality, anyone can build a beautiful product. It's the people behind it that deliver,
Sure.
you know, that deliver that promise and that magic day in, day out, you know, and make it happen.
Always comes down to the people. And you mentioned
It does.
about it was very inspiring to watch people progress and perhaps move on or do things within your business that you've helped them to understand and train them to do. Is that your main inspiration? Is there anything else that you use as inspiration?
So as an individual, I am very motivated by results. So actually a great P&L really motivates me, because I think, oh, look at that.
Bottom line.
So there's a whole variety of things that motivate me. So yeah, I am very result driven, you know. So as I say, looking at a good P&L, a good balance sheet, winning a new piece of business, seeing repeat customers come in, winning awards. I mean, I think I mentioned we won 19 last year, achieving the AA Hotel of the Year in 2022, 23, welcoming A-list celebrities. I take all of these elements inspire me, because I think, wow, we've achieved something, we've reached a new audience. And it's always about what's next, you know. What's next? What are we going to do next? Where's the next level? You know, what piece of business am I going to steal from somebody else? You know, how big can we make Supercar Sunday? How much money can we raise for charity? So I wouldn't say it's one key thing. I'm also inspired by the owners and their relentless drive for perfection. You know, they literally, their attention to detail is phenomenal. But yes, ultimately results, I guess, is
Results driven. Brilliant.
I am very results driven.
So lastly, before we end the interview, if there's any sort of latest news you've shared about, you know, already the awards, the 19 that you've won, if there's anything else, feel free to share that, or even it's a case of letting us know your website so we can book a room and start.
Absolutely, please do. Season, but we do still have availability. Yeah. So our website is grantleyhall.co.uk. Lots of information in there, whether it's our latest accommodation offers, the spa retreat, you know, fine dining package, including dinner in Sean Rankin's Michelin-starred restaurant. There's some really exciting events that we're holding, not just our Supercar Sunday. Got a lovely champagne lunch coming up one weekend in the summer, or just, you know, we saw a glimpse of sunshine over the bank holiday weekend, to be fair. So the Norton Courtyard is open, perfect for alfresco dining, and we are launching again this year our Whispering Angel Terrace. So who doesn't love a glass of rosé in the sunshine? So whatever you want, hopefully Grantley Hall, you know, has got something to attract everybody. You know, so our restaurants are open to non-residents, and yeah, come up and see what we've got.
Excellent. I was having a sneaky look before we spoke and was thinking, oh, must inform the wife about this one. So thank you very much, Tracey. Really appreciate you being so open and sharing all that you have, and I wish you all the best for the future success of the business.
Thank you very much.